Welcome back to Drop Frames. Going into the second half here of the show. Let's talk whatever. Sifu's out. Never mind. Zeke's gonna throw us off.
Yeah, I am.
Zeke, what's going on?
Just real quick, just a point of business. Like next Sunday is the Super Bowl.
And it doesn't start until like 5 p.m. and it doesn't matter to us.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh, okay. Just making sure. Okay, go on.
Yeah. I think it starts at like...
To be fair, it could also happen during the show. I wouldn't...
Yeah,
Hey, listen, I don't want to assume anybody doesn't care about it, you know?
I mean, viewers might, but they can watch a VOD.
Always be on YouTube.
Yeah. Let's talk about Sifu. How's the full game? Also, should we care about spoilers? Like,
not really. I mean, it's very obvious right at the beginning of the game what you're doing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. How is it? Is it different from the demo? Is it the exact same that you played the demo?
It's the same.
Okay.
It's really difficult. It flows incredibly well. It's a lot of fun, and when you mess up, it's 98% of the time your fault. So it's really good. Yeah, it's a huge amount of fun. It's got some RPG elements in the way that you manage your health and stuff and your skills. It's basically a roguelite. So it's designed that you play it multiple times. Basically, every time you die, you age. But every time you beat a level, it parks you at that age. So if you beat the first level and you only die once or twice, then you're like 21 or 22 or 23. And then when you start the next level, if you die a bunch of times, you always go back to that same age when you start it. Or you can go all the way back to the beginning and play again if you want to try to get like a better age as you move through the game. The way that it works is you unlock abilities temporarily as you play through. So every time you beat a level, it parks it. And then if you can die a whole bunch on the next level, but when you beat it, it parks it there. And whenever you play, you basically spend your experience points to unlock a run that, or a skill that run. And then you have to unlock it 5 additional times. You can do that in the same run. You can spend more XP on it to then make it permanent. And when it becomes permanent, then it's unlocked forever. So you can at that point restart the entire game back to the very first level to go for a better starting age and use all the skills that you got there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool system. It's interesting.
What a lot of the reviews, at least that I read or scanned through, I should say, the high ones basically praised it for just the look of the game, the feel of the game, how fun it is to play. And the low ones basically said this game's way too fucking hard.
Yeah. It's really, really, really hard.
Really?
Yes, it is. It is incredibly difficult. There's like not only a whole bunch about positioning and a whole bunch about like in picking your fights and picking how you interact with the fights, but there's timing elements. There are reaction elements. There are combo elements. There are remembering what skills you have unlocked elements. There's a lot. So like not only do you have a timing parry, which is perfect blocking essentially, then if you hold block, you can then hit up, down, or left or right to then dodge an attack. On top of that, you also have people attacking you from multiple sides. You then also have your combos. You then have reaction combos. So it is a very in-depth game with no difficulty setting. So like today it's just hard. So I got to like the second boss relatively easily. Like I got to the second boss and I can get to the second boss pretty easily, but I was doing it wrong. Essentially, I was not doing the mechanic that it wanted me to do. And I just got completely destroyed by this boss. Then I went back actually doing the like the mechanic you're supposed to. And like right before I logged off to go to my mod meeting, I had a really good attempt. And then like right at the beginning of my mod meeting, I was like, let me just run in and try it again. And then I beat it. Doing like what I needed, doing the fight properly, essentially. And I'll mildly spoil it for you guys, but the properly on the second boss is you have to do the directional dodging. You have to hold block and use the directional stuff. You can't just dance around him trying to perfect parry, trying to block. He absolutely decimates you if you try that. So yeah, it's tough, it's hard, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. When it flows well.
Are those is every one of those dots, sorry to interrupt you, but it's on screen. Every one of those dots a move on the right-hand side?
Yep. A move or a skill.
Wow. Okay. So there's a lot to like replayability is pretty strong then in this.
They're all right there. You can see them.
There you go. Those are all the moves.
Yeah. Those are all the skills right there.
Nice.
And then as you die, those little emblems start breaking off of it, and you get older and older and older. And then as you get older, you lose your maximum hit points. You can age up to 70, and then if you go past 70, that's game over. You're too old. You turn to dust. And and every time you make it like I think it's every 10 years or maybe 15 years, your max health lowers and your attack damage goes up, and your character actually physically ages. So by the time you're like around your 50s and 60s, like you are an old decrepit gentleman.
But you do a
that
lot
is
of
like-
damage, right?
You're
Like
doing, you're doing a lot more damage.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing a lot more damage.
So yeah, because I saw that a couple of the reviews basically said like dying in this game isn't necessarily where when you die in other roguelikes, the reward is that you have a lot of stuff you gained. And this, when you die, your HP goes down, so it actually makes the game harder. But if you're doing more damage, then there's a trade-off. That's not necessarily true.
It's a trade-off, but at the same time, the way the game seems to work is that you have to like basically how many years you have left is how many attempts you have left. So in the first level, you want to beat that and get.
Sorry, I'm laughing because I'm just like, that's so sad. I don't. What do you mean, Co?
I know. So
I have
so
as many
it is
attempts as
kinda
I
sad.
have in life, Co.
No, you're old. You don't get any more attempts because you're an old person. So the way that it works is like, for instance, if you are like age 40 when you beat the first mission, which is normal on this difficulty, 40 plus. Some people don't even beat the first mission. But if you're like 40 or 50, that means when you go into the next level, like you can only age 20 years before you die. So the worse you do in the beginning levels, the less chances you have at the following levels. So the goal is that you want to beat all 5 of these people basically as young as possible, because the younger you beat a level, then you park it at that level for the next level.
Right.
And since there's 5 levels and you have to go in order, then it's it's that kind of thing.
So
Got it.
okay. So to me, it sounds like okay. I beat the level, but I'm 60.
Yeah,
I got to do. The
I'm
level
60. That's right.
again. Yeah, but you got to I got to do the level again. I can't beat this
You
level.
at that
60.
point probably want to do the level again. If you finish a level and you are high and you are old, the good news is you can use the experience that you've gotten to like potentially unlock some permanent abilities or steps towards them. The bad news is that if you actually finish a level at 60, then you will be going into the next level at 60, which means you literally have like 3 or 4 attempts instead of like 15. And that's like a huge problem. So what I found the best thing to do is if you're actually trying to progress, you want to go back to the first level and just like basically keep to the first level until you get like a sub 25. And then, when you enter the second level at like, 23, 24, 25, then you've got like a solid like 10 plus attempts to beat that level. Then once you've beaten it and you kind of get the boss moves down, you get the fights down, and you probably want to start doing the second level until you get like a better age. And then you kind of like keep moving through the game. This is going to be a game that's going to be hard to beat. This is going to be one of those games where it's like, oh, you've beaten Sifu? Damn.
Really?
I see your
You
card.
think it's that difficult?
I think it could be. I mean, it's going to be tough to get like all. Well, here's the thing.
Could you farm it?
It could be.
Because
the big thing is going to be like how much the abilities matter. Because the abilities don't make you more powerful. There's some abilities that are really good, but they don't make you more powerful. And every time you restart the game, you do reset your passive bonuses down to 0. Whenever you get to certain parts in the level, there are these statues. These right here.
Oh.
And those statues, you can unlock like certain parts of your character that make the game easier. So you can get like the ability to stay stable longer. You can get more health whenever you kill people and stuff like that. So, those all reset every time you go back to the first level. So that's the roguelite element. You're constantly having to get those back. It's only the abilities that stay permanently unlocked. Now, granted, some abilities are awesome. Like one of the ones I recently unlocked made it so random items in the world I can just walk next to and hit RB, and I will kick them at the nearest enemy and possibly knock them over or stun them. That's huge.
Oh, nice.
That's really cool. Is that going to make me a better player on bosses? No, but it's going to make getting to them a little bit smoother. So stuff like that.
Are the levels always the same in terms of enemy placement?
There's no
enemy
procedural.
Type? Oh, so it's always the same. Is that boring?
I think not really yet, because the combat is so interesting.
Yeah.
I think that it certainly could be, especially if you have a goal of wanting to progress and you're having to do the same really difficult fights over and over. But at the same time, if they were procedural, then it's already a hard game. So if you had to throw like random elements on top of that instead of like learning each section, I could see that becoming a little overwhelming, especially for people that are, you know, without a difficulty slider essentially.
Yeah. For me, with it not being procedural, the thing that came to my mind first, but I think it was only because it was the most recent thing I played where it was kind of a loop, was 12 minutes. Gameplay is completely different, obviously. But is it boring on like your fifth way through when you're like, okay, there's two guys here. I know how to deal with that. Let me get.
Not
God
really.
damn it, that guy hit me. I got to reset. Like, did that
The
happen?
combat system is really good.
Okay.
And whenever you finish enemies, you get health back. So like, unless you're actually
Oh.
dying a bunch of times, there's not a huge amount of. But I mean, the way that the game plays is it's kind of like Dying Light 2 in the way where the gameplay is just really fun. It's just really fun. And when things click, they click really well, and they look awesome, and they feel awesome, and you feel like a badass for doing them. So it's one of those situations where it's a give take, but overall, I think it works pretty well for the game.
Okay.
The fact that it's set up
boss.
and it's the same, like the levels are the same every time, and the fact that it's not procedural or random or anything like that, kind of like the first thing I thought of was like Hitman. Like the levels are the same, and they walk around the same. Like the people's walk around the same.
These are linear.
The way you dispatch things changes as you play the level again and again. If you do that.
Dunk. Now here's an interesting thing about the game. So the game is designed to be played like a roguelike. So levels are going to be done multiple times. And one of the things you can do, for instance, is you can go through a game or go through a level, and you can kill a mid boss and get a key. And then when you play that level again, you will still have the key, and it may open a door earlier in the level you couldn't open before that then bypasses some hard enemies on the way to the boss. So
Okay.
there
Cool.
are different paths.
Does that key
But
always drop?
I would not. The key, you only get it once. Once you have it once, it's yours forever.
Oh.
So you don't have to worry about that again. If remember that big board,
Yeah.
keys like get put on that board. And then if you look on the board, it's like these keys, and then there's like a red line, open this thing here, and it's like it kind of draws it out and everything. So
I don't know if we want to go into it now, but I want to circle back to that board because that looked interesting.
it's basically a progression board. So the board has all 5 of the bosses on it, and then each level you find little things that help you progress through the level, or just like little snippets about the level or boss. So it's a good way to think about it. It's like, you know, your classic, you know, crime board, you know, with the red strings and the yeah, it's that. It's just a progression mechanic.
Now,
Where all
you
the
haven't
spaces are
talked
empty and
about
stuff you haven't gotten yet.
Yeah, you haven't talked about the story yet. Is it interesting, or is it like secondary?
There's
Is
not
this like
really
your
a
basic revenge story, or
it's 100% your basic revenge story.
Okay.
Again, not I can't really spoil it because it's literally the beginning of the game. But 5 bad guys kill your dad, you kill the 5 bad guys. Like,
Okay.
that apparently now there is a little bit of nuance into why they were killing your father and what the purpose was and stuff like that that I haven't even gotten to yet. But it is a upfront standard revenge story. It feels kind of like a classic movie of that type in a lot of ways, where there's like a lot of cinematic stuff, and you know they focus on the characters and different scenes and things of that nature. It is a simple action revenge story at heart. Yeah.
And listen, like it doesn't
It's
have to be
stylish,
like.
though.
In fact, it probably be a lot of games will probably benefit from simplifying their convoluted story. So I'm not against the simple story. I mean, Inigo Montoya said his shit in one line, and it's basically that: "You killed my father, prepare to die."
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. That's all the story I needed from that. I get it. Now sword fight or kung fu. Kung fu.
Is there a mystical or like he straight up just disappeared
100%.
into a forest?
Yes, there are mystical. There are very many mystical aspects of the game. Your character
Whoa.
obviously gains age and is brought back to life. You know, there is a part in the story where your character like dies and comes back, like he's actually murdered and comes back.
Yeah.
It all has to do with the mechanics of the aging and everything. It seems like each character has like an ability of some kind.
A boss, you mean?
This is the botanist, and he can like grow plants and create plant life and stuff like that. The next guy is named like the warrior, and you see him like grab a dude's arms and like suck the power out of him or something. I don't know. Like, so each person has like a theme, a mystical theme. But at the end of the day, as you can see, like even with their powers and stuff, it is just fighting. Like the whole thing is just fighting. I have not yet seen any mystical powers like influence the fights directly. All the mechanics are still
You
just like
can't launch a Hadoken.
there are no Hadokens.
Okay.
No, there have been no fireballs or anything. A lot of bottles being thrown and shit. But no, not Hadoken.
Okay.
Now when you say like bosses, like the basic gist of it is you get through these levels, get to the bosses. One of the things that can make it stand out, like a game like Fury or whatever, however you want to pronounce it,
How you
Fury,
pronounce it, I think.
is the backing tracks for the boss. Like, how's the music, dude?
Music is great. Music is awesome. I've loved the music so far. It changes
What
in the
is
levels
it?
a lot of times. It's kind of like the best way to describe it. It's kind of techno-y, it's kind of thumpy. There's been some like traditional stuff, but there's some really good beats. There's some like it's hard to it's multi-genre, but it's
Okay.
mostly kind of like electronic ambient kind of music. Traditional electronic ambient music, I would say.
Is it tied to the action at all?
At times, absolutely. Like if you go into a boss fight, like the pace picks up and like drums start hitting
Yeah.
and things like
Yeah,
that. So yeah, it absolutely will change around. There's a club level and like, as you fight the harder enemies, the music changes pace and things. It's very cool. The music is very thumpy, very bouncy.
Due to recent games I played, do the bosses do a really cool thing where they repeat the
He died,
same
yeah, he's
line
dead.
like over and over, like every 5 seconds?
Sometimes,
I like that.
not
I'm a
every
big
5
fan of
seconds. Big fan of that, yeah. It's
fan.
certainly there are times when the bosses get a little talky, but not too much. Not too much. Most of the talk is in the cutscene.
Okay.
Like there'll be a group of enemies a lot of times. You'll be beating one up, and you'll hear the other guys all the time be like, "Holy shit! Oh man!" Like they like throw in these little quips and stuff, which are kind of fun. But yeah,
You're playing controller. Is there mouse and
I am.
keyboard support at all?
There is mouse and keyboard support. I found controller to be a lot better.
What
I'm very
is
big
it
about
like
controller.
WASD situation? Like
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Right. Mhm.
I'll probably just play controller.
Controller. It feels good with controller. It feels very good with controller.
Okay. How many weapons have you stumbled upon? Is anything a weapon?
There's
Can
all
you
sorts
just
of
like
weapons.
pick
Not
up
all
random
sorts of
shit?
things. It's mostly like sticks and stuff. So like bats, metal pipes, table legs. There's been a bow staff, things like that.
Okay.
Not a
Well,
huge amount.
I've
of
heard
things.
that
No blades or
stones can
anything.
break your bones, but
Yes, that's true. Actually, yes, and break necks as well.
Okay.
Lots of neck breaking with sticks.
Yeah. What for you in terms of like the difficulty? Because I think this is going to be the main talking point around this game over the next week or so. What is the hardest aspect of the game? Just getting good? Just learning how all of
Learning
it?
the stuff is really tough. The thing that I'm finding the easiest is stuff that doesn't require a lot of directional dodging. But then you start coming up on enemies that require not only a lot of awareness of your area and situation, but then also parrying and blocking, and then directional dodging on top of it to be effective.
Yep.
And some enemies are really, really fast, and they are just as good as you at preventing damage to themselves. So like it's the kind of thing where they'll do a flurry of combos on you. You'll do your absolute best not to get hit by it, and then the second you start counterattacking, they're just
Doing it again.
whiffing all over the place. So you're not only trying to focus on doing damage to them, but at any point they're going to turn that around on you, and then you have to go back into a defense cycle. So it's a lot of timing, a lot of really quick, fast timing, a lot of quick, fast reads. It feels very much like a fighting game at times.
Okay. When you say directional blocking and directional dodging, I immediately have like some PTSD or something come up from For Honor. Is it similar at
Yeah,
all?
and not really. The one big issue I'm personally wrestling with is especially in a game where you're on a 3D axis or more of a 3D axis. So in where your left stick is controlling where you are in a top down, kind of like an ARPG.
Yeah.
One of the things I keep finding myself doing is I will block, but I'll want to block and move my character. But the problem is when you hit block in this, it expects you to plant your feet and then use your stick to directional dodge. And if you try to directional dodge when an enemy is attacking you and you do it improperly, they will hit you through your block. So it's this, you have to like train yourself not to play how you would traditionally do it in a situation where you block in a game like that.
Interesting. Okay.
And I'm having problems with that. I find myself like blocking, and then I'll be trying to move away from the enemy, but you can't do that. And then the enemy will hit my block because I'm directional dodging at the wrong time, and they'll be like, "What the hell? He hit me through my block!" And it's like, no, he didn't. You were trying to directional dodge and you failed, and then he hit you out of that.
Yeah.
But it's like that doesn't click for me because in every other game I've played like this, I just move around and block, and that's what happens. So it's
Yeah, I think I'm sensing a future level of rage in this.
oh, I was raging today.
Yeah,
I
I
absolutely was
kind of
raging
could
today.
see that
There's
it's going to be a
rage
little
inducer
rage inducer because it fully looks like that they make it very clear that it is you fucking up and not the game
Yep.
being bad. And that's a rage inducer very quickly. Is there any sense of like Dark Souls parallel in terms of the combat at all? Like, are you finding yourself being stuck in animations or like animation locked apart from the blocking, or is it pretty fluid?
It's pretty freaking fluid.
Okay.
Like they did a really good job making this combat system feel good. And if you do it right and you're getting it on point, like it feels really good.
Cool.
It 99, like I said earlier, 98% of the time it's your fault. The only small issues I've been getting is every so often there's no target lock on. And there are definitely
Oh.
been more than a few times when the target, like you're surrounded by people and there's a person right in front of you that's just about to max out for a finisher, and they need like one more hit, and then you could get them and get some life back. But then there's a person slightly behind him, and then I'll be pointing at that person trying to attack, but they'll like just walk right by him, striking at the person behind him, and then that leaves me open to the person I was trying to hit, and then it's like I get womboed down and like die. Those parts are a little frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's it's doable.
Okay. Finishers
Like, again,
give
I feel that's more of a thing if you get better at the game.
Sure.
Good situation.
finishers give you like full invulnerability, so you can like think about
They
what
give
you
you
want
life
to do
back.
next.
Yes,
Okay.
as you're doing a finisher animation, it's full invulnerability, and then it also gives you life back. So you can see there's the white bar, which is the enemy's health, and you can just kill them if you want. And then the yellow bar under that is their stability bar. And
Okay.
if you get a stability bar full before the life empties, then you can do a 2-button finisher, and the 2-button finisher is what gives you life back.
Got it. Okay. Those are all my tips and tricks that I want to know, Zeke, for when I play this
Yep.
later today.
There you go.
Any performance looks fine, seems to run well, doesn't seem super demanding, just
No, performance has been great. There's nothing
Okay.
about this game that I think is going to be taxing too many people's machine. The graphics look good, but they're like stylized, kind of cartoony. So
Yeah.
you're not going to be doing any major things. There have also been a few times when, and again, this is probably mostly due to me, some major camera issues if you get up against a wall. So if you let an enemy get you up against a wall, like you're going to have problems.
Oh.
To rotate the camera away from your character will put you in a position where you can't really see the enemy striking you properly. So it's nasty. But again, that can be fixed by making sure you fight people in a good spot and not letting them kind of like I'll drive you into a wall, basically.
Got it. Zeke, any questions on the old Sifu?
That camera thing is just something you have to accept in third person games.
Yes,
I think
that's
like every
exactly right.
third person game has fucking camera problems when you get close to a wall. So
Yeah.
Does it benefit more attack, react, or just both?
A little bit between attack and react. So it mostly both. Like if your reactions are on point, then you can parry the enemy and get nice parry attacks in. You can throw them around, which is really useful. Definitely want to get used to throwing enemies. If you find yourself getting ganged up on a lot, throwing enemies is huge because you can throw enemies into other enemies, and then all of a sudden a 3-person fight becomes a 1-person fight because you took 2 of them out of the fight. But another big thing is a lot of times there are certain enemies that you can. It kind of depends on the enemy really, because some enemies you can really press, and other enemies will quickly defend and start counterattacking. So if you try to quickly press a counterattacking enemy, you'll find yourself just beating your head against a wall because they'll keep just blocking your stuff and going back into it. But if other enemies are not great at counterattacking, so you can just like really lay into them, fill up their meter quickly, and then take them out. Where with the ones that are really good at counterattacking, reacting tends to be a lot safer.
Nice.
Are they like coded as or can you tell a person's attack, counterattack, defense heavy disposition by like I don't know, color of their shirt or their shorts or their mohawk or something like that?
Not really, but there are fat enemies that are sumo-y, and they have their own
Okay.
move style. So there are
Okay.
the fats, if you want to call them that. But in terms of like most people, no, most people you just kind of have to start fighting and see what you can do and see what they have to offer. Some enemies are very much just chaff, where it's like that 3 hits they're down, like no big deal at all. Other enemies have a larger health bar and a lot more structure, and then there's also elite enemies. And elite enemies are interesting because if you try to finish them from a stability standpoint, they will Super Saiyan on you. Their health will refill, and they will become significantly more difficult.
What the fuck?
So those enemies, you kind of have to learn where they are. Like you don't really know beforehand. Sometimes you kind of have hints, but most of the time you just like this guy right here. Let's see if we can do it. The guy in the red hoodie there. If you actually get his stability up and then you try to finish him without killing him, then he will watch this. He pushes you away, Super Saiyan's up, his health is full, and now he has a much more difficult moveset.
That guy's a dick.
That's something
He's
you can
a dick,
avoid
man.
triggering, is what you're saying.
You absolutely can avoid triggering that by just getting their health down and not triggering a finisher on them.
Okay.
Man, he's beating your ass.
Dude, they get a lot. They get a lot stronger. They get a lot stronger.
Do they give you more HP or just same as every other guy?
Same as every other guy. Finisher's
Okay.
a finisher.
All right. You mentioned 5 bosses. Is that the game? Five bosses in total that you know of? Maybe a random last boss or something? Okay.
Yep.
So it seems like if you're really, really good and you have a really good run, that the game's short. If you just one-shot everything, granted, that's not going to happen. But once you understand the game,
do that.
yeah, once you understand
If
the game,
you
the
know
runs will be
exactly
fast.
what to do, and you don't want to farm any abilities or anything like that, because that seems to be a pretty big part of the game.
Sure.
Basically saying that is the same as saying like, oh yeah, you could just beat Hades 9 times on your first time and then you'd be done with the game.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like the game will be
That's
quick.
the same. It's a roguelite.
Yes.
So if you were super, super good, just burn through the game. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But learning the combat system, learning how to function with the combat system, learning the timings and stuff. It is definitely going to be a game that I think most people will need some time with.
Yeah. $40? You think it's worth it?
I think it could be. I think it kind of depends on how good you are at it. But I mean, it's a really slick game, dude. The presentation's fantastic. The combat system's really good. I don't know if there's any kind of post-game challenges or anything like that, but it's a pretty freaking fun game.
I'm excited to play it. It seems like Absolver, the devs have been like working towards this level of animation for a while now. And this is the game that's finally going to put them out there. What is the dev? It's not Absolver is not the devs.
Slow
right?
clap.
It's what? Slow tap?
I believe it's slow clap.
Slow clap. Okay. Absolver was their most recent game prior to this, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited for it. $40. It's on, looks like Epic only for now, as well as consoles, PlayStation Store, all that type of stuff. Looks fun.
I like how chat keeps saying, hey, make sure to tell them this, make sure to tell them this. Guys, I don't need to explain every single game mechanic to them. They'll figure it out.
We're going to play
Okay.
the game.
We're going to play the game.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Two big guys at once.
2 big ones.
Looks like
And
that's
see,
the
these guys are a good
perfect-
example. No, well, I was going to say, these guys are a good example. See that grab right there? The only way to avoid that is to dodge. There's dodge, by the way, also. So on top of everything else, you can also dodge. But that right there, you can block and then hit down. And only like when they're attacking you, if you do that, then you can dodge the thing while
Man,
blocking.
the
Little
animations look like phenomenal. They
so
look
good.
really good. It's impressive
Okay.
how good they look.
I've been waiting to bring this up because I want you guys to check it out at some point. But if you haven't checked it out, check out the live action Sifu trailer.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. Yeah.
It's a 9-minute
9
live
minutes.
action adaptation.
Wow.
It's on the PlayStation YouTube channel, and it is there's something about it that makes it like really, really good, and I think it's because it looks like it's like picture like the Matrix fight scenes, but picture like the blows have effect. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just like tap, 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 tap. Like every single hit connects has
Yeah.
power
It's
to
looked
it.
like they're actually throwing real punches. Kind of what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. So, yeah, I watched it on a whim. It's like I saw someone tweeting about it, and I put it on because I usually like I'll check him out for like a couple of minutes and be like, okay, I get it. I watched the whole fucking thing and it was glorious all the way through. It was great, really,
Nice.
really good.
That's awesome. Yeah, that game looks very good. I'm excited to jump in. What else? Or Zeke, actually, let's jump to you. You've just been playing Dying Light, right? Like, what? I was looking at
Yeah.
the VOD. Did I miss anything? Has it just been Dying Light?
I finished up CD-ROM-a-thon. I did Dark Forces 2, which I'm getting back to.
Okay.
I had a little Dying Light 2 break, play that.
Okay.
And now that I've finished with that, we'll pick Dark Forces 2 back up on Tuesday.
Nice.
So that's what we'll be playing. I think I got to I didn't get very far. I'll just say that. And I haven't got many of the force abilities yet. I think I got force jump and maybe there was another force one. Force speed. I got force jump and force speed. And I'm saving up.
Okay.
Like I have like you get like the skills at the end, or stars they call them at the end of every level. And people were saying like, you should have force jump by now. And I'm like, I'm saving it. I'm doing dark side abilities. Like I'm saving it for force lightning and stuff. So I have like some in the bank waiting for like the force lightning, force choke, or whatever the dark side abilities you get. Because I'm going full dark side, killing everything that moves. Droids, innocent bystanders, like everything I can. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun because they have some pretty fucking funny voice lines.
Yeah.
Where they're like, "This is my shop. Please leave." "Oh, don't. What are you doing?" "Ah," and you like you punch them to save bullets.
Some good old.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm having a good time playing it.
Yeah, that game's great.
Yeah, and I will say, like, as far as CD-ROM goes, like my favorite. Like I've been asked, like, what is your favorite from this year? And Dark Forces 1 was probably the standout, the one that I enjoyed the most. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. But man, it was a lot of fun. It was fast paced. It was like all the like there's definitely notes of nostalgia in there, but it ran well and it was fucking fast. It was way faster than I thought it was going to be, even off of the CD-ROM, because I was like, yeah, you can pump up the speed, like, if you play it, if you pump up the disk speed or whatever, you can do it on an emulator. But like these stock, like in the box speed is fucking great. Like it runs really fast. It's great.
Yeah. Hopefully,
but
get
yeah,
another one. Hopefully, Respawn's working on something like that.
That's what I said.
God
when I
damn,
heard
that
about
would be
Respawn,
just so sick if that's what they're working on.
Dark Forces 3, I'm sad. Let's go.
That'd be nice.
It'd be so. I mean, it's an FPS, so they're doing something, right? Like, whatever that is, I'm there. That's a dream game.
But I haven't been like it's all just been Dying Light 2 last week and CD-ROMs the week before. What did I play before? We talked about Black Dahlia, how I got that working. We talked about that before. So yeah. My white whale has been stabbed and
Good.
mounted. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I jumped into that VR MMO after we talked about it. Man, that game's kind of cool. It's also kind of tiring. It's also an MMO. Like just straight up go kill 15 of these guys, report back. Like it is flat out an MMO. And I think if you jump into this game with a couple other buddies, that's when it's going to be at its best. Or if I wasn't streaming and I just had the proximity chat turned on. Because the cool part of the game is not necessarily beating 15 of one mob and moving on to the next quest. The cool part of the game is walking up to a quest guy and seeing like 20 people who are, possess a VR presence, a physical presence in front of you, and they're interacting and you can see their arms flailing about because that's what they're actually doing in real life. And that's the cool part. People walking up and, waving at you because they're excited to see another player in VR and like having those interactions. was really awesome. It was when you're doing this stuff, it's like, oh yeah, it's a full on MMO. You got to kill 15 of these guys and report back to an NPC. The game seems pretty expansive in terms of how actually big the world is. And I think they also announced a roadmap last week. So they've already got another class announced. There's currently 2 with kind of the 3 archetypes in-game tank, healer, DPS. But gameplay seems exactly what you would expect from an MMO. The interesting and unique part about it is the fact that that person right there to my right is a real person. And they'll sit there and wave at you, or you can walk up to people when they're crafting. And the crafting is essentially like cooking mini games. So you have to like take batter, put into a pan, pick the pan up, and like sit there and flip a pancake a couple times, and then eventually that will cook.
Crack the eggs into the bowl.
There's no egg cracking, unfortunately. I wish, but yeah, you get some milk, you pour it into a pot. You have to like mess with the temperature, and yeah, that was only like to make a cookie or something like that.
Oh no, chat. This is Sifu. It's
Yeah,
just,
this is
this
Sifu
is the
right
second
here.
part of the game.
Yeah,
Second
this is the failure of me talking about a game, not
It's really interesting later.
updating the title. There you go. Gathering is exactly what you'd expect it. You walk up to that and put your hand over it, and then you put it into your bag. But yeah, it's you can also climb anything in the game. So I could walk up to those walls and just start, doing this and like scale it. And that's really fun. Because then once you get to the top of that, you can jump off of it, put your arms out, and like fly away, essentially. And I really enjoy that because all those things up in the sky you can eventually get to. Sometimes there's different wires leading to it. Other times you can just jump up there. There's not really anything ever up there to begin with that I know of. Maybe later in the game there will be. But for now, it's just the idea that you could get up there in the first place is kind of fun.
You know what's up there, JP?
What?
Satisfaction of a job well done.
That's correct.
There you go.
Which
That's
is
right.
Exactly why I don't hike or do any of that.
Yeah, it felt really cool. But yeah, a lot of players, servers actually were somewhat like server stability was an issue for them last week. They had to take them all down and actually, I think, buy new ones relatively quickly or get new ones relatively quickly and get that stuff hosted. So the game seems like there's a shit ton of people playing. And you can, I think your characters go from server to server. You just have to connect to one. And so you can say like, I'm on server X, Y, or Z, and then everyone connects to that in terms of playing with your friends or other social groups. But yeah, it's got spells. The spells function where like you basically put your hand out in the air, and if you want to cast whatever that spell is, for example, you have to like move your hand in a certain way and then throw the spell. And that was pretty fun. I don't know if that gets annoying the 50th time you're having to do that. Because I didn't cast a spell 50 times. I just kept shooting my guns. That seems pretty effective. But here's a guy crafting. Like I said, you could see their crafting station. So if everyone pulled out their crafting station, you could sit there and watch. But this guy was probably pretty fucking annoyed that we're all just standing around as he's like putting on a show of whatever he's trying to cook.
Well, I imagine like the spell stuff would get it like tedious as I played Lifeline, that voice activated PlayStation 2 game. I'm sure like that got annoying. It was like shoot head, shoot arm.
Yeah,
You just have to do that.
there were when I played, there were already max level people walking around. And I don't think you can like get through it fast. It's a multiple tens of hours to get to like max levels. So seems like they're going to be a pretty healthy community to the game that you can jump in. They've got, I think, raids planned. I don't think dungeons are in the game yet, as it's still kind of early access, but they have a full roadmap out. It seems fun. It seems like one of the better VR games if you're looking to jump in. A lot of people likened it to like when VR chat first came out and it was fairly basic. They said it felt a lot like this. And so a year from now, if they've got everything built out, you'll be, going to an inn to hang out with or meeting up in an inn with a bunch of your friends before you go out and start fighting whatever dungeon or whatever raid you're going to do, which would
Kind of badass.
be kind of fun. Yeah, I kind of like that's where they're heading. Here's me trying to cast a spell. I just got it, so I'm throwing my explosions at this guy. It's not necessarily going off. There's also still a lot of like VR absurdity where like you can do this, right? And depending on what headset someone has, you can very quickly figure that out by looking at their hands. If they're this scenario, it's like a pretty basic headset. If it's like this, then it's like at least an Oculus Rift or something. But if every finger's moving, it's an index, right?
So is that like secret handshakes? You
I
get up
guess,
and
yeah.
you jazz hands?
You
Wow,
walk up to someone and do this and like, oh, that's an index user. Look at that guy.
Or you just give them the finger, I guess, because you can't do that on the other ones. So
true. Maybe the finger is the go-to
that's it.
index
There you
user.
go.
Yeah. You might be onto something there. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Recruiting for guild, index only. Give me the finger.
Prove it, man.
Prove it, man. Show me the finger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
it was cool. I played for about hour and a half, 2 hours. It is as physically demanding as you would think. And I have no idea how people played this for as long as they did to reach max level in the short amount of time that they did, because that's fucking exhausting. I was tired in 2.5 hours of playing, which probably speaks to my own physical health, but also I don't know how the fuck these people played this for like 20 or 30 hours. Because you're doing that, and most of them are standing up. The game's probably best played while standing, in terms of like reaching into your backpack and casting all the spells and all that stuff. But yeah, a decent time for what it is, and it's still early access, so I'll probably have an eye on like the project as it moves forward over the next year, and maybe it'll blow up into being like the de facto VR game to jump into. Cool. We'll see. Because there's not much else out.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think it has that potential?
I think so. I think for it being early access and being as successful and like stable as it is, I think if they continue to work on that and add in all the stuff that they've talked about adding in, it could be really cool for sure. Even if it's just a social hangout experiment or experience, it gives you enough of like, I think part of the reason why VR chat hasn't, I mean, it is taken off because it is the biggest VR game, I would say right now, but it's not necessarily a game. It's more of like a social hangout, right? Like you're in a constrained box and you're walking around and someone's talking or dancing or whatever. This is like an actual game alongside of all that. And so that can be kind of cool. The fact that you can meet up at a bar in game and then immediately go outside and like start hunting something or fighting something or doing a dungeon or farming an item or whatever it is that you want to do in that game. Seems kind of cool. We'll have to keep an eye on it. What else did Co, you played some Vampire Survivor. This game blew up on Steam.
I did.
And I think it's still blowing up.
It's still blowing up.
Yeah.
This actually looks like a game for me. It really does.
Dude, this
like
game,
it looks
dude,
like
Vampire Survivor.
Like I'm going to put all my powers on and then I'm just going to move the stick and that's it.
It seems very good.
Play it. It's awesome. It's so much fun. There's some cool progression you can do with the mechanics. There's ways to evolve items. I mean, it's a little bit twitchy with the moving around, but there's no aiming really of any kind outside of like a few skills like knives and stuff kind of go where you're moving. But no, it's a lot of fun. The game is it's the best $3 value of 2022. This game may have some of the best value of this year. Like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's $3. That we should reiterate that as many times as possible. Do you die?
Oh god, I'm about to get 8. Oh god. Yep.
I like that I just randomly chose. So let's go to a different part. Explain.
Especially towards the
beginning
of the game, there was lots of deaths.
Okay, this is second day, I think. So
yeah, at the beginning when you're kind of learning like what synergies are and what items to get and in what order and things like that, there are definitely a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
So that's normal and that'll happen. But as you start to learn like what items can evolve and what item kits you want, there's primary and secondary items. You're limited in what you can get of both. So figuring out like what items you want and which ones synergize with others, and it becomes a lot more bearable. And you start having more wins than not wins.
Does the game tell you how to do that, or do you just figure that out from your own decisions?
Chat tells you.
Oh, so this is a streamer got good because chat told me scenario. Okay. All right. In terms of not streaming, how would you figure any of that out? Just trial and error?
Trial and error.
Yeah. Okay.
A total trial and error. The way that it works is you use an item and you can get it to max level, which is level 8. And then if you have the proper secondary item, when you get a chest, it will drop an evolved version. So like there's the spellbinder amulet, if that's for the Bible. There's the wand, which needs the book. There's the axe, which needs the candelabra. Stuff like that.
Are those the level of upgrades that you have up there in the top left on that screen?
Yep.
The little dots
Got
or
it.
etches? Okay. Gotcha. Seems pretty basic.
It's a very basic game.
What's
It's a simple game. It's got 3 levels. Like the only differences in the characters are some light passives and their starting item. Like it's very simple. It's just simple fun.
I've seen people at 15-minute mark and never win. Can you beat that? Or is that just
30 minutes is
it's
the
30
win.
minutes.
Yeah. At 30 minutes there is a mechanic that transpires that
and that's not beatable? Because that's what I've
not without some tomfoolery. There's
Okay.
some buggery and specific item combinations that used to work, but I think they got patched out. It's a thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not buggery is the right word to use, but like
Maybe so.
maybe a different word would be like some hijinks. Let's just say hijinks.
Hijinks. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go. $3. And is it still top on Steam? If not like top 5 on Steam?
Probably should be.
Yeah. A lot of people have been jumping into, why is it called Vampire Survivors? Are you a vampire?
I think everyone else is, and you are trying to survive. I think
everyone else is a vampire. So that's like a vampire Medusa. Is that
sure? I think the point is that like you're the last survivors, and you can
talk
see
to me about the deep, rich story and voice acting.
The lore, yeah. I didn't really get into the deep lore of Vampire Survivors.
Chat's saying you are the vampire. No vampires are
sure,
sending minions
okay.
at you? Okay.
Let's do that.
That seems good.
Okay, whatever chat says.
Oh, someone in chat says you can play it for free in browser on itch.io. You don't have to buy the game.
Can you?
Yeah, I didn't know that was the case.
You should probably support the devs. Buy the game.
Yeah.
You can't do that thing that you just said.
Okay. Doesn't make sense.
I bought it for $3. I got it. I'm going to play it sometime.
Yeah.
Don't sub to Zeke or JP for a month and just buy it for that. If you sub to me, then go to itch.io. That's
Your Honor, I have evidence of him using his platform to silence and or demonetize me.
demonetize.
Yeah, it's demonetized, not silenced.
He also advocates
if anything, that's going to make you not silenced.
Oh, that's wrong. Your Honor, I would like to slip you this $5.
That's how it works.
Thank you.
That's how it works. Get him an NFT. Then he'll always be on your side.
I've got this super looking bored ape for you. You'll love it.
Oh man!
You don't want to pay me good vibes, bud.
I would love to.
Cody, did you check out PoE at all?
I did. I played it a little bit and then promptly realized that I was not going to have time to get to the cool parts.
That's exactly what I did.
New mechanic is cool. The Atlas stuff looks great. Ziz is Zizarin, friend of the channel, big PoE guy. He is saying that it's awesome. Like I'm hearing nothing but good things. This maybe will be the league that I return to at a later time, like maybe in March when things open up. I was
thinking about that too.
Ziz also made an awesome build for us. It's a Spark build that is super fun to play. Like I made all the Sparks like red and demonic, and I basically it's an Emperor Palpatine build. It's so much fun. But yeah, the build is great. The new league mechanic is great. The expansion stuff looks awesome. Like, yeah, I'm sad I don't have more time.
Yeah,
I'm sad I don't have more time. Everything looks good on it.
Because I finished Dying Light yesterday. I was like, yeah, I'll check out the league. I started playing. I picked a build. And then like 3 hours in, I looked at the price of something of like, oh, you need this build defining unique. And it was like already 90 chaos. And I'm like, I'm not going to see that in the amount of time that I'm going to put in. Alt F4.
for me, I was going to play PoE last night and I played it for like an hour. And I was just talking to Chad about like what I wanted to do. And I realized like I wasn't setting long-term goals,
Yeah.
and that's why I play PoE. I play PoE because I want to kill a boss or get to a point, and I realized like I had none of those because I knew I wasn't going to have enough time because we've got Lost Ark in 2 days.
Yep.
And it's just like, and that just killed it for me. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go play Dying Light. Like this is not. There's no point. There's no point in doing this right now.
Yeah.
So, it sucks because this league and the expansion both look awesome.
Everyone's saying it's very good. They had record-breaking
Yeah.
numbers on Friday, the highest concurrent ever playing Path of Exile. And I'm just like kind of looking at it and thinking like, really? That seems crazy
Wow.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. With how many games?
Well, I mean, all the naysayers being like, maybe you shouldn't release something in February.
That's what.
Yeah, I know,
saying.
right? Exactly.
I don't know
Like,
if it's
Which is
because
crazy. Think if they didn't release in February. Think if they had like actually pushed this, they would have like the numbers would be obscene.
Yeah.
It
In, like, a
was
January
good.
release.
It was really good on them to get it out before Lost Ark. Like if they had tried to head Lost Ark, so many people I've noticed have been like, yeah, I'm basically playing this league until Lost Ark comes out.
Yeah.
So it was really good for them to get that out. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I just like you, I might return in March, depending on what else is out. Prices by then should be a little bit cheaper in terms of the items in game, so maybe I can actually play the build that I want to. Or it could be the complete opposite where things have stabilized and it's still fucking stupid expensive. So we'll have to see. League mechanic though, I echo everything you said. I enjoyed that aspect. Tabulas seem very easy to get. Starting items seem very easy to get this league. And just like
The mechanic's fun.
Yeah.
It's like we always say, it's a mechanic that you can do, you can ignore. It's right in line with the game. Like
Yep.
it's a great mechanic. It's very cool. Gives a lot of customization on the loot you get from it, which is great.
Yeah. Everyone said the Atlas changes as well are the best the game's been in terms of the end game. So
mapping apparently is the best it's ever been.
Yeah, which it's all things I want to hear, right? Like as a PoE massive fan and someone that's spent way too much time in that game, it's all the type of stuff. It's like, that sounds great. I gotta play Lost Ark on Tuesday contractually. So yeah, I guess I'll see you in a month or maybe next week. PoE. I'm sure it'll still be good then. And
that's the hope.
That's the hope. Yeah. Anything else you guys been playing? I think I've kind of talked. Dying Light dominated the week. I think we all spent the past 4 or 5 days in that, and that alone. So, anything you guys want to mention? I'm still playing League off stream. That's still hazardous to my health. I don't know why I'm doing that.
Not TFT for me. Same fucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
I just last night I was like at Platinum 2. At like 50 LP Platinum 2, and I'm like, I'm working my way up. I'm gonna hit that diamond. 3 losses, I'm back down to Platinum 3, and I'm just like, I think like I should probably get like a net or a catcher's mitt or something like that off on the edge of my bed, so I can throw my laptop into something instead of the dresser. Because I cut it and slide it off the end of the bed. I don't fucking want to look at it. It goes like off of the dresser. There is a new set, a mid-season set or something like that coming out on the 14th, 15th.
Like new items to buy or new characters?
Oh, in TFT.
Oh, okay. Got
it. New champions, new mechanics, new stuff. Neon Knights is coming out pretty soon. And I was wondering, like, would it be best if I tried to really push for Diamond now or wait until that comes out when everybody's kind of learning stuff? But then again, like, how well do I learn stuff? Oh, no. Maybe I should do it now before the fucking set comes out.
This might be right. Yeah. League's just brutal. You get into a game and you do well, and the rest of the team doesn't do well, and it's just you lose. You move on. It is...
Except you don't move on. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, it's the truest sense that it's a coin flip. Like that game is a giant coin flip for me. I have after 250 games this season, I have a straight up 50% win percentage. And that's like what Riot tries to get is 50% on everyone. So it's frustrating. The highs are high and the lows are fucking bottom of hell.
Jesus.
I played a game right before Dying Light launched on Wednesday. I was like, oh, I got an hour. I don't know what. I guess let's play a game of League. Chat was like, don't do it. You're gonna enter into Dying Light. You're gonna be so upset. It's like, nah, I'll be fine. 30 minutes later, I'm saying shit I shouldn't say on stream. And I'm like, God damn it, I'm so excited to play a game that's not League of Legends. And then I had a great time. So it actually still worked out because I was playing not League, which is exactly what I wanted to do in that moment. But it's a bitch. It's a pain in the ass. Any other games?
You know what server you're going for Lost Ark, by the way?
No, I think I'm going on Burke's server. They've chosen something. I don't know. Some of the people that are playing with him have like posted it in a Discord, but I haven't shared it with my community yet because I don't know how it's gonna all work. I really don't know what's gonna happen on Tuesday. People are saying that because it's region based, that if we're on different servers, we can still raid and do dungeons together. We just can't be in a guild together, which is fine.
Really?
Because I think we're going to be on different guilds anyways. And they also said that like 30,000 people can be logged into a server because of how instancing works. So it's not going to be the same situation that like New World had, for instance, where it was like 2,000 people at max per server. So it should be okay if everyone's playing on the same server or playing on opposite servers. As long as we're all in the same region, that's the most important thing. And I think we're all going to be on East anyways. So should be fine. But yeah, that's Tuesday for
I think we
Lost
have
Ark.
to for the event and stuff. We're all going to be in the same.
Yeah,
thing,
as long
so
as we're not playing on Europe, I think that's, you can go US East or US West for the team thing that we're a part of. But yeah. What's the Waylanders?
Oh, Waylanders. Okay, so Waylanders is kind of like an indie. What's the best way to say it? It's kind of an indie, jokey parody of kind of traditional RPG kind of deal. It's a lot of fun. I had a good time with it. I started the Waylanders thinking it was going to be more of like a serious, immersive RPG. But that's not what it is at all. It's very much like comedy and parody based in like Celtic history and lore. And once I kind of realized that the whole thing was basically a joke, it became a lot more bearable. And it started really growing on me towards the end. Unfortunately, I got soft locked. So the game is very buggy, to put it bluntly. It's very buggy. Like it had all sorts of issues when I played it. It's the kind of game that I'm probably going to return to down the road when things are a little bit more stable and check it out. But I was starting to have a really good time with it. The combat's kind of cool, reminiscent of Dragon Age Origins. It not only has some bugs, but also some relatively what I would call serious overlooks in terms of design, like not being able to use keys to pick your party members, but it's very party member dependent. AI doesn't get overridden properly when you do group orders and things. So there's like some pretty hefty issues. But there's a super solid foundation there for a pretty fun game. And if they can get all the stuff right that it needs, it could very much be like a cult classic kind of thing.
Is it 1.0 or is it early access?
I believe it just hit 1.0. So
okay.
Unfortunately, I think they had to kind of kick it out the door. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I saw a handful of I want to say there were sponsored streams for this.
There were definitely sponsored streams. I did not do any of those.
Okay.
Unfortunately. I just played the game. Probably would have done a sponsored thing for it, but yeah, it's fun, but it was really messed up when I played it, to put it bluntly.
What do you know what it cost?
I don't know offhand. He did give me a code, so I'm not sure the price.
He's 20% off at the moment. $28. Usually runs for $35. So yeah, on Steam.
It's mostly negative on Steam. I can kind of believe it, unfortunately. Like it was pretty buggy. It's pretty buggy.
It's mixed for all with 288 reviews, and recent reviews are 52 with mostly negative. So, yeah.
Oh, is Lost Ark free to play?
Yep.
I want to ask. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
It's if you want to play on the 8th, I think you have to buy something, and then it's free for everyone on the 11th.
Yep.
Considering guild size, that's when and I think that's when me and a lot of streamers are going to be opening up their guilds for recruitment is the 11th, because you don't want to like pay to win your guild essentially, especially in a free to play game. But Yeah, the guild issue is probably the biggest problem with Lost Ark. I think you only have 30 slots
30
when the
at
game
start.
goes live.
Yeah.
It's horrible. So,
Yeah. It's based on
yeah.
like activity. It can go all the way up to 100, I think. So
It's very
Wait a minute,
tiny.
you guys just have like 30 fucking friends just waiting to like jump in your guild, man? Must be nice. Must be nice.
remember when we were talking about echo chambers, Zeke? That's what essentially.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how that goes. Any other games? We got like 15 minutes. If you guys want to just shout out games you played, if not, we can wrap up, which I'm totally fine doing as well. I don't think there's anything
Good.
else I've played that needs mentioning. Oh,
You got some Sifu to play.
yeah, I'm excited for Sifu. I also I'm in the final stages of my Horizon Zero Dawn offline stream playthrough, not
Nice.
stream, but playthrough. I'm gonna touch the
How's it going?
DLC tonight. I'm excited to jump into that. I thought it was just like walk in, fight some guys. And then I read like what the actual DLC is. It's a full-on thing with like 8 hours of gameplay, full-on narrative, all that type of stuff. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Oh yeah.
Looking
I'm
forward
sorry,
to
what
it.
was that?
For Horizon, I'm playing it off stream.
Oh,
At
oh
night.
yeah, me
a couple
too.
hours a night. It's good.
You want to watch that trailer, that Sifu trailer? If you want to get like all fucking pumped up for it, or do you want to watch it on your own time?
I'm gonna save it for
I can do it,
tomorrow.
right? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna save it for tomorrow.
Cool.
But yeah, that's it. Sorry, I was looking at my Steam list, see if there's anything else.
Yeah. I didn't like. I got nothing else. I had one game this week and like
Yeah.
one game offline. I'm not playing a bunch of shit. I'm just still fucking grinding away at that. I don't know why. It just. You're right. The highs are high and the lows. Like you wanna destroy everything.
You get,
around you.
yeah. The tilt is no other game. And I've seen a lot of, there was like a giant rise of content creators that started playing League this past month because there wasn't much out. And all of them have said, like, this game makes me want to just strangle someone. Like, I'm so upset when I play this game. And I think it's even doubly so, or it's amplified when you stream it. It just gets worse.
Some of the clips that have come out.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my lord, dude.
Oh yeah. Well, I know which one you're referencing. From our friend Quinn.
God, that's
Yeah.
it's very painful to watch.
Yes.
Oh my
For
lord.
a lot of different reasons, for sure.
Oh, just speaking of clips, I found out that Ko does not like the flute for some
Flute.
reason.
Yes, I
The what?
actually my parents
Flute,
were
the
killed by a
instrument.
flute when I was younger. And
Okay.
as since if I ever see a flautist, it has to be dealt with immediately.
I honestly thought you killed her because she said flautist wrong.
Is that not how you say it?
No, you said it right. I think the character, if I'm not mistaken, I think the character in the game says it wrong.
Was this
That's just
anyway,
an
It's a clip
additional
from
reason to
Ko,
take her
in
out.
Dying Light 2, and there's someone playing the flute, and he reacts poorly.
Oh. Did you get your bow and use the
I can't
best
contain
weapon in the
myself.
game?
Oh no, I had a 2-hand hammer.
Oh. Okay. I can see where that went.
Yeah. It went off of a cliff at great speed and velocity. But the best part about that clip was not like I expected like a co-reaction. It was very just like
Visceral.
yes.
Brought up
It
some
wasn't.
painful memories.
It was nothing. It was just like ah!
Deadpan. Yeah.
That was
you don't
it.
mess with flautists.
That was the part that made me laugh.
Yeah. It's true. Link that clip in chat. I'd like to watch that later. Let's do some shout outs here and call it a show. Zeke, what do you got coming up? What's on your list?
Well, I got coming up. We're gonna do some. Well, tomorrow's my day off, so I take Mondays off. But on Tuesday, we're gonna start back up again with Dark Forces 2 because that game was fun and I want to finish it.
Nice.
And let's see, is there anything coming out this week? There's nothing coming out this week. So Dark Forces 2 is nothing that I'm going to be playing coming out this week. So I'll play Dark Forces 2. I don't know how many days it's gonna take me. I've got I think 2-3 chapters down or something like that of I don't know how many. So we'll play that for the next few days. It's a blast. even though it's, however many years old, 18, 20 years old, something like that. I love it. It's great. It's a fun game. So we're going to play that. And then I don't know what after that. But coming up on the 15th of this month, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, that whole week is going to be Indie Week. And we're going to be doing nothing but indie games that whole week to make up for missing all those indie days on CD-ROM-a-thon. So
Nice.
that's what I got coming up for the next couple weeks.
Cool stuff. Hold on.
Oh God!
I'm gonna show you guys. I got this. I bought these two in prep for Elden Ring. I got King's Field 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm gonna figure that out the week after Indie Week.
Oh, are you gonna play those instead of Elden Ring?
No, leading up to it.
Oh, I was like, what the? You're not. Why are you gonna do that to yourself?
Yeah,
you got to play Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Anyways, Code, talk about some NFTs. Is that an NFT? Are we supposed?
That's it. That's my NFT. That's my NFT. That's everything. It's all she wrote.
Also, he's an index user.
Yes, I am. Yes, join my guild.
We'll call back.
Anyway, hi. My name is Ko. Good to see you. We're going to be playing more Sifu tomorrow morning. Dying Light 2 in the afternoons. We're actually playing some Dying Light tonight as well. We're going to be doing a little bit of Total War Warhammer coming up, I think, with JP, if that whole thing works out. We're also going to be checking out a game for a couple hours called Ollie Ollie, which apparently is incredibly frustrating, but also a lot of fun. So that could be fun.
Yeah. And
then we're going to be moving into Lost Ark in the cozy streams. Probably Dying Light and Sifu during the days as we get those going, and all sorts of other stuff. So yeah, hope to see the channel starting every day at 8 a.m. Also got a new YouTube channel up, Go Daily. All sorts of fun stuff on there. And as always, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.
Cool. That's it for Drop Frames. We'll be back next week. Probably be talking a lot of Lost Ark. Maybe if we can tear one of the Lost Ark streamers away from the game, maybe we'll bring them on. But we'll see what happens. Might not happen. Those guys are going to be pretty heavily addicted to Lost Ark. Unless we
can play Lost Ark while we do it.
Yeah,
case,
maybe.
It'd be fun.
Maybe. Yeah, it depends. I might be one of them. I'm hoping I'm one of them. I'm hoping I'm jumping into that game and I'm severely addicted. But
I hope similarly.
Yeah, we'll see. And then, like I said, we'll probably be playing some Warhammer together if all that stuff works out, and jumping into the rest of the games. We're in the middle of February. It's exciting. Video games are coming out. It's all leading up to Elden. Is Elden Ring still like the king? Is that still like the one that you're all waiting for right now? Is it the top of the top? Or is there another game that you think's...
Me personally, it's just barely over like my hype for Forbidden West, Horizon Forbidden West. Just barely.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Weird West, Elix 2, Ghostwire Tokyo, which is now at the end of March, and Shadow Warrior 3 as well.
All over Elden Ring, or is Elden Ring tip top?
I mean, Elden Ring is... I'm excited for Elden Ring, but I also kind of know what I'm getting into with Elden Ring. I don't think I'm going to be super surprised with it.
Yep.
I think other games could wow me more.
Okay.
I know the thing is because Elden Ring is so hyped. I know it's going to be good. I played the network.
We've played it.
I know it. I know it's fun. Like, there's going to be really big bosses. Really cool.
I think.
Yeah, and I am. I'm excited for it. I feel the same way with Elden Ring as Horizon, where it's like, I know it's going to be good. I know, kind of what I'm getting into with it. So, there's other stuff I'm probably more excited for in kind of a novel aspect. But I'm definitely can't wait for Elden Ring, Horizon, those kind of things as well.
Yeah. Finishing that, or getting near the end of Horizon for me, it's like, oh yeah, this story's actually fucking incredible. I hope they continue to do. I hope we get less of the tribal stuff and more of the like what happened in the sci-fi stuff of Horizon. But hey, they're probably both pretty good. Anyways, we'll talk about those games after we play them later this month. So make sure to come back around on Church 2, aka Drop Frames. We will be on yesterday, yesterday, what the fuck? We'll be on next week, and yesterday, and okay. Monday, and maybe 2 years prior to now, and maybe in the future as well, whenever that superb owl happens, regardless.
I didn't know you had finished work on your flux capacitor already, JP. I knew that was it was a work in progress for the longest time, but
we're not supposed to talk about that, Zeke.
Were we on yesterday? Will we be on yesterday? Yeah.
We're trying to condense the content so I can see less of you guys, but more free. We just do like 8 hours. It's one day that I don't see for a month. That's the whole point of time travel.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's get some Pog. He has risen in the chat. We'll see you guys next week for more Drop Frames. We're out of here. Bye-bye.